Hey besties and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about some more of my K-pop opinions. I know I've made so many of these before, but I still have some more opinions. Now, let's get started with the video. I feel like a lot of you all are lying to yourselves when you say that your faves have no skips. Like, I get feeling that your ults have no bad songs, which makes sense. But when you all say you wouldn't skip any song is kind of crazy. For example, I love my aespa girlies down and they have an amazing discography, but I'd be lying to myself if I said I never skipped one or more of their songs. It's not even one of those songs where I like, but I'm not in the mood for. There's just song they got where I don't care to listen to, which is okay. Even Red Velvet and BTS have songs that I skip and they're my all-time ults. Now I understand that some people might just like every single song from their faves, which is fine, but some of y'all are definitely being delusional when you say every song from a certain group is perfect, knowing y'all be skipping a good amount of their songs. There's many things in K-pop I never understood, but what I still can't understand is why people are so okay with the way these stands act at airports when K-pop groups are there. In a sense, I get some people just wanna see their faves any chance they get, but to get extremely close to the point where you're touching them and following them in a giant herd of people when these idols are just simply trying to get on a plane is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't know why people aren't realizing this more. Pretty much every few months, we hear about incidents where idols are crying, in a panic, or even harmed due to these so-called fans in the airport, and that's supposed to be normal. Like, it's most likely early in the morning, these idols are exhausted and just want to hurry up to get on that plane and hopefully get a few hours of rest when they can't even walk in an airport in peace. Because you all just gotta take extremely close pictures of them and grab them by their shirts. There's absolutely no reason why people should be crowding these idols in such a casual setting where they're just trying to get to point A to point B. Like, I don't think real fans do that, idols they actually respect. Honestly, I don't think information of when these idols are going on flights should even be public, because it's simply none of y'all's business and you don't need to be knowing where your faves are every day. This is just such an annoying and harmful thing that's been going on way too long, and I really hope there's more strict rules about this, because idols don't deserve to be potentially harassed when just going to a damn airport. I feel like a lot of you all forget that majority of K-pop is influenced by something else, whether it's a culture, genre, community, or even trend. Like, I understand that there have been situations where a K-pop group or artist has actually copied someone, like that whole Dia and Tina Shay thing, but most of the time is just influence or similarities. I especially feel like you all act this way with other K-pop groups. Like with New Jeans. Anytime there's a girl group with soft voices or generic Y2K aesthetics, y'all immediately think they're copying New Jeans. Obviously there was at least some influence with these groups like Lit and Triple S, but you all forget that companies pay attention to trends and get influenced by other groups. Also, there's other girl groups that have used that bubbly and soft sound like Twice, Loona, GWSN, and more. I just think some of you all need to realize that it's okay if a K-pop song is similar to another as long as it's not directly copying. Honestly, this just goes for any idol, but I want to focus more on Hyuna since this opinion is about her. I really feel like some of you all have a bad habit of placing this title of a feminist on some of these female idols when the only thing they do that makes you give them that title is being confident, which is only less than a fraction of what being a feminist really is. The crazy thing is that there are actual female idols that have explicitly shown that they're feminist or pro-woman through their actions, such as Seulgi, who advocated for women to have better access to menstrual pads, or even Yeon from the Wonder Girls, who clearly stated that she's a feminist. Now obviously it makes sense to be upset about what Hyuna did, because I'm still disappointed because I just thought that she would know better than to date a guy like that. But you all got to stop putting these labels on idols because she's never clearly said or shown that she's a feminist. If anything, she's most likely just about body positivity and confidence. But you can't really be mad at her betraying her title of being a feminist when you all were the ones to put that title on her. Now being mad about her openly and proudly dating someone from the Burning Sun scandal and not even apologizing is most definitely justified, but she's never done anything to truly prove that feminist title. I I don't know if it's just me, but I don't really understand why people are so overdramatic about encore stages. Like girl, I could understand if it was an actual performance, but the whole point of an encore stage is to just celebrate their win and have fun. It is literally not that serious. The same encore stages y'all are whining about are the same ones where idols have chewed ice, do push-ups, and smear lipstick on themselves. Now with the whole her situation, I do think that her criticism is valid because after being an idol for such a long time, she needs to improve, especially since her lines are short and not difficult, but I don't think she deserves any hate for that. I just feel like this argument happens every year where some idol doesn't sound their best or sounds shaky during an encore performance, and y'all have this whole conversation on whether that idol can sing or not. I do think some of these idols should work on their vocals more, but the reason why they sound so shaky and off is probably because they're nervous about the mass hate they know they're gonna receive, which shouldn't happen. Criticism is fine, but there's no reason to hate on an idol for an encore stage that wasn't their best and where they're just having fun. I know that the more a group tours, the more money they get, but I can't help to think about their well-being. I just feel like a couple tours a year or even one is good, but when they've only been having one Korean comeback each year so far since Talk That Talk, it makes no sense to me as to why they're touring so much. Now it could also be due to them not being able to tour for a couple of years because of the pandemic, but it feels like they've been constantly having concerts since early 2022 with a quick break in between. As someone who went to one of their concerts, I'm happy they're having tours since me and many others were able to see twice, and I'm sure the members enjoy it too. But I just feel like they need a break because whenever they're not overworked with comebacks, they're overworked with tours, and they deserve some time to relax with the touring. Even if it happens with boy groups too. I feel like a lot of people tend to give up on girl groups too easily or way too fast. Everyone has their own reasons to fall off from liking a group, and that's completely fine, but a girl group could release one song you don't like and all of a sudden they're public enemy #1. I remember when itzy released Not Shy and Mafia in the morning within a somewhat close time span, and everyone thought that they're not good anymore, and it still happens. Like yeah, songs such as Sneakers or Mafia aren't their best, even though Sneakers wasn't even that terrible, but yet all act like Logo, Cheshire, and Cake weren't even released. This is what I mean when even a girl group has their redemption arc and has a better comeback, y'all still wanna complain and act like they just don't make good music anymore. When it comes to boy groups, they seem to have patience even if you dislike a few of their comebacks, which is kinda odd to me. I'm not saying you have to force yourself to like a release from a girl group after you've been not liking their other ones, but it's just weird how quick y'all are to put the flop title them after one unsuccessful comeback. Before I say anything, this isn't supposed to be against the members themselves, but more towards the people that keep calling Kiss of Life grown. In a way, I understand it, because we've been seeing so many minors that are still in high school or even middle school for so long, so getting to see a new girl group with nobody under the age of 18 is really refreshing to see. But some of you all act as if they're grown. People might have different definitions of what being grown is, but to me, I feel like 20 or 18 doesn't count. Like yeah, that's really the age of being an adult, but not grown. To me, the only one I think is truly grown is Julie, since she's 23, someone who's been an adult for a few years. This isn't to say that they're all children or anything, because they're not, and obviously this isn't that big of a deal, but unless I see a newly debuted group where everyone is old enough to drink and actually 21 or older, I don't see them being the epitome of grown idols, but that's just me personally. As someone who loves the sexy concept, especially for the music, I do think some of y'all act a bit weird when it comes to adults in K-pop doing anything but that concept. Obviously out of any idols, the ones that are actual adults should be the ones to do a mature or sexy concept, and I love when they do that, but they shouldn't feel pressured to. If Twice still or Red Velvet still wanna have fun, then there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's not too childish. There's some groups out there that just simply don't feel comfortable with that concept or aren't ready to do it yet. Even though there's some groups that I'd love to see doing this concept or doing it more, I'd rather them not do the concept at all rather than feel uncomfortable or pressured. Honestly, I never understood the hate or criticism that Chilkill got. especially with some people saying that Red Velvet went downhill. It's fine if you didn't like it or was expecting something else, but I truly feel like the main reason why people were so harsh with this song is because they saw the concept photos and thought it was gonna be another Psycho. Although I think Psycho is a beautiful song, I think people hype it up so much because it's one of their more tame songs. But you all should know by now that Red Velvet doesn't stick to one concept. I actually think this song represents their identity so well with the dark themes and haunting melodies, but the fun and quirky parts that throw you off a bit. Of course, people can feel however they want about this comeback, but I just don't understand the criticism when it's up there with being one of their best. Since 2018, Jennie has constantly been getting hate for pretty much everything and anything, especially when it came to her stage presence. I don't think that any of the hate she got was deserved, and I don't even think her stage presence is as horrible as some of you all make it out to be, but I do think it's lacking. It's not that she's overall bad or boring, she's just inconsistent. Like, she has her moments on stage where she has a lot of energy and charisma, then she has her moments where she looks bored and not giving much energy at all, but her bad stage presence moments are what seems to be getting more attention. I know she's had some injuries in the past, but I don't really think it's that, because during those moments she has good charisma. I just think she doesn't really have a balance in her stage presence, which could be fixed, but I definitely don't think her stage presence is as bad as people think. I know with how some K-pop groups and idols have practically been problematic or done offensive things since first gen, so it can be relieving to see an idol that's actually not problematic, but you all act like they're perfect because of that. I feel like you all think just because an idol or group hasn't done anything to your knowledge that they're unproblematic, but even if they are, that doesn't mean you praise them. Honestly, I think people should overall stop praising idols for being unproblematic and calling them that, because what are you praising them for? Having good morals and not being ignorant? Also, what I find so crazy is how y'all never learn with calling idols or groups unproblematic, because then they turn around and do something problematic. For example, you all called GFriend unproblematic, then that whole statue thing happened, and this has happened with some other groups too. Y'all just need to stop acting like a K-pop group being unproblematic is such a great thing and using them for your advantage in fan wars, because that's honestly just the bare minimum. And that's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you'd want, and have a good day. Bye besties.